Officer King, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Sit, Your Honor. Thank you. You have a seat, Officer King. Officer King, if you'll turn and introduce yourself to the jury for me, please.
My name is Officer Glynn King, Jr.
And Officer King, how are you employed?
By the Dallas County Sheriff Department.
Okay. And what exactly do you do for the Sheriff's Department, Officer King?
I'm a detention service officer,
And how long have you been so employed?
28 years.
And as a detention officer, you're not a law enforcement officer, are you?
It's up under the law enforcement umbrella. Yes, sir.
But you're a detention officer in the jail, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you've been over there for how long?
I've been 28 years.
And any other prior history regarding detention officer work besides Dallas County?
No, sir.
Okay. And this jury has met one of your colleagues earlier, so they kind of have an idea of what you do. Is there anything in particular that you do regarding being a detention officer since you've been there this amount of time?
No, just care, custody, and control. At that time, I was assigned to single cells, and that was my duty at that time for about a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay. Well, let's break that down just a little bit, Officer King. So you said during that time, I mean, you understand what you're doing here this afternoon, correct?
Yes, sir.
You understand we're here to talk about your interactions with defending this case, Mr. Kristopher Love, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you see Mr. Love here in the courtroom?
Yes, sir.
Could you go ahead and identify him for us, please? And describe something that he's wearing, Officer King.
Was that glasses? Was that a gray, dark colored blue suit?
Okay. And Your Honor, the record reflect that officer identified the defendant for the record. And Officer King, how did you come to know Kristopher Love?
Just routine when we have a roster with single cell inmates, and we just we identify them by their name on our roster and go around. We have to feed them. Sometimes take inmates to the nurse. So that's how we end up getting to know them by the jail roster.
And back in October of 2015, were you working the single cell?
Yes, sir.
And that's on the second floor of the North Tower?
2 East.
Okay. And like I said, they kind of have an understanding of how it's set up. There's an upper and a lower, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you recall where he was?
I don't recall what single cell, what the number of the cell, no, sir.
Okay. When he came in regarding being placed or housed in a single cell, do you recall why he was sent to there?
I heard, and then on our roster, it said high profile.
Okay. And in that single cell area, you have high profile, and then you also have administrative segregation, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so in regards to, you've been there 28 years, but how long have you, what's your experience level regarding the administrative segregation and or single cell area that you did?
Well, it's just a routine because you get placed on different assignments. And that was my season to work single cells for a year and a half, close to 2 years.
Okay.
So, you know, with my experience, again, we're care, custody, and control. The only difference is you have administrative custody and you have high profile. It's just they're in single cells and not general population.
Okay. So you said you kind of go through seasons. In those 28 years, how many seasons have you gone through? You worked on that administrative or single cell floor?
Well, quite a bit,
Okay.
quite a bit.
So it's safe to say you've had quite a bit of experience in dealing with inmates being housed in that area?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, like I said, they've heard a lot about how it's set up in a single cell and they eat in the cell and things of that nature. But is it possible for people that are housed in that single cell area, whether it's for the nature of the case being high profile or administrative segregation, for them to be a problem to the officers as well as the jail?
No, administrative custody is an inmate that places him That's protected. Administrative custody is a inmate that has caused problems and has been moved several times. And then you have the high profile that they put the inmate in a single cell for his own protection.
Correct. And so my question is even in that situation where they're in that single cell by themselves, kind of with limited restrictions and privileges, they can still be a problem to you guys?
Yes, yes.
And like what kind of things and issues can they have while on that floor?
Well, they can clog up the feeder port. They can, we had inmates that break the windows, throw food out the feeder port, be very belligerent towards officers. When you pull them out, it takes more than a couple officers to pull them out because the officers have to watch out and protect themselves if he's very belligerent, very combative.
Okay. And so the amount of time, since starting October of 2015, what was the length of time that you actually had an interaction with Chris?
It was every day. I'm off Saturday and Sunday, so Monday through Friday.
So then, is it safe to say the entire time that he was in single cell until he moved to the general population on the 5th floor, you had an experience with him?
Yes, sir.
Tell us during your general opinion of how Chris acted and responded there during that time.
He never gave me a problem or what I've seen in that time I worked on that floor, officers any problem. I never wrote a report on him, and I never saw an officer write a report on him.
So is it safe to say that he was respectful?
Yes.
And you said a little bit earlier that some of the individuals that are housed on 2 East, that when they are transported, whether it's for dental or rec or whatever it is, they will sometimes have to be transported with 2 officers, is that correct?
Depending on the inmate.
Okay. But in dealing with Chris, was he able to be transported with just 1 officer?
Now, I didn't ever have to transfer him, but from what I understand, he didn't give any problems to anyone.
And you and your colleagues that work on those floors, especially single cell, I'd say, you guys y'all share information as shifts end and begin.
Yes, sir.
So you're aware of what's going on.
Yes, sir.
So if there were issues that were going on during a particular shift, then that information would be shared between.
Yes, it would have been addressed, it would have been passed on, it would have been documented in our pass on book.
And during the entire time that you dealt with Mr. Love, you never wrote him up, never heard of him being written up, or heard of him being disrespectful or anything to that effect?
No, sir.
Is that true, officer?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate y'all. That's what you're
Yes, sir.
What shift did you work?
Second watch, 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m.
So did you work with Officer Prince?
Yes, sir.
She was a floor leader,
Yes, sir.
so you worked underneath her, is that right?
No, we don't. She was a floor leader concerning, I worked up under the sergeants, but the floor leader meaning at the North Tower, she does deal, if something comes up, she does deal with that. I'm a senior officer, so she does deal with maintenance problems if some come up. If a supervisor has a question about the floor, she does the paperwork for all of that.
So did you, she had described that there was 5 detention officers there working at any one time,
Yes, sir.
and you would have been one of those 5.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You don't have a designated leader, a boss amongst the 5 of you.
I guess more senior officers stick out more because supposedly the senior officer's supposed to know more. But in different cases, different officers know more than others, and different officers know how to handle inmates because you have all kind of attitudes. So anybody at any time can step up.
Okay. And were you, we had a description of there being a second floor and a first floor.
Yes, sir.
Were you on the guard on the second floor or the first floor?
The first floor.
The first floor. Okay. And you don't remember where he was at?
No, sir.
How many times did you talk to him?
I couldn't recall if I said anything because I always greet inmates. How you doing? What's up, man? But so far as just casual conversation, I couldn't recall. I wouldn't know.
Do you generally have casual conversations?
Just talk about sports or something like that. So.
But y'all don't get to know each other real well?
Oh, no, sir.
You try to keep that barrier?
Yes, sir. Have to.
Why is
Because it's a professionalism, that you have to keep, and just for the inmates' protection and for your protection.
Okay, what do you mean for your protection? Do you mean the guard's protection?
Because a lot of times, if you're not careful, something can be said and it could go overboard, and you don't want anything that could bring you to shame.
Do you ever worry about your safety being in there as a guard?
No, sir.
Why is that?
If I did worry about my safety all the time, I'd be a nervous wreck. So I just go pray before I leave home and just do what I need to do at work.
Is there a potential for you to be harmed in there?
Oh, yes, it is.
Tell me about that.
Well, it's several situations that altercations have happened that I tore up my knee, in an altercation. So I have been injured.
And that's with inmates that are over there in the jail.
Yes, sir.
So you've kind of, like you said, kind of gotten used to your environment when you go in there.
Yes, sir.
When you started there, did you have a different kind of opinion of it? As far as
Yes, when I first started, yes, sir.
Okay. But now you've I don't want to say your senses have dulled, but as far as you've come accustomed to that type of a lifestyle, being in there, and that there's threats around you at all times.
Yes, it is.
But like you said, you can't let that bother you, because then you can't do your job.
Yes, sir.
You're aware of those threats, but you handle them as best you can.
Yes, sir.
And you find that being polite and courteous to the people that you have in charge helps you to get along with them.
Yes, I respect them. I have a deal that we're going to respect each other as men.
Okay. If someone comes in and they're 35 years old, would you think, well, this guy's 35 years old, I don't need to worry about him?
No, I never, no. Every 17-year-old to 80 years old, anybody can do anything.
I'll pass it over.
Let's vote, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may stand down and bring me the courtroom.
We'll call Officer Brown, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Proceed, Your Honor.
You may.
Thank you. Officer Brown, if you will, just turn and introduce yourself to the jury for me, please.
I'm Officer Courtland Brent.
Mr. Brown, if you'll just pull that mic up just a little bit closer to you. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Officer
I'm
Brown,
sorry, your first name?
Courtland,
if you go ahead and spell that for the record, please.
Courtland.
And Officer Brown, they see that you're in a sheriff's sweater and uniform up there. What do you do for a living?
I'm a detention service officer.
And for Dallas County, is that correct?
Yes.
And how long have you been so employed?
15 years.
15 years. Any other prior experience regarding law enforcement and or detention,
No.
supervision, or anything to that effect?
No, sir.
You're the third officer that's been up there today, so we kind of have a general idea, but just briefly, what are your duties at the jail?
My job duties are to care, custody, and control of inmates housed in Dallas County.
And obviously, Officer Brown, you understand what you're doing here this afternoon, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you understand it's the state of Texas versus Kristopher. Do you see Mr. Love here in the courtroom?
Yes.
Okay, what is Mr. Love wearing?
I will stipulate that he knows, Mr.
All right.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, have you had an experience to deal with, or excuse me, Officer Brown, have you had an experience to deal with Mr. Love while he was in the custody of the Dallas County Sheriff's Department?
Yes.
Tell the jury a little bit about that. When did you first come into contact with Mr. Love?
First came in contact with Mr. Love right after he came into custody.
Back in October of 2015?
Yes.
And at that time, Officer Brown, was you working or assigned to the second floor of North Tower?
Yes. 2 East Lowers.
2 East Lowers?
Yes.
And this jury has come to understand that as were single cells as well as ad seg or house, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know anything about Mr. Love prior to him coming in there?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you come to find out what he was charged with?
Later on, yes.
And you understood that they had listed him as high profile, which is how you came to be in contact with him, is that correct?
Correct.
And what was the length of time that you supervised and or had interactions with Mr. Love?
A year, a little bit over a year or so.
Okay. And did you leave the two East Uppers before he did, like when you were reassigned or?
Yes, I left. I got reassigned to another assignment.
Okay. So during that time that you were dealing with Mr. Love on the two East Uppers, what was your general impression of Mr. Love?
He was a quiet, easygoing inmate. Not a problem.
Did he give you any issues while you were supervising him?
No, sir.
Did you ever have an opportunity to transfer him from one location to another?
Yes.
Okay. Tell the jury about that.
Transporting him, he pretty much complied with all the orders without any hesitation.
And on that floor, on the two East Uppers, when you're dealing with the single cells, Officer Brown, there are some of the occupants on that floor that require more than one officer during transport. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And why is that?
Because behavior issues or psych issues or SRT only, some other high profile that you have to shut down the floor for.
And you just used the acronym SRT. What does that mean?
SRT stands for Special Response Team.
And just briefly, are you familiar with SRT?
Yes.
Explain just briefly kind of what that means.
They're responsible for pretty much the transport, the shakedown, and riot control. That's the best way to put it. Riot control or disorderly conduct of inmates and stuff like that, where if we can't handle it, they have a special unit that takes care of
Well, a
that.
good way to kind of describe it to a layperson, they kind of be the SWAT team of the jail.
Correct.
Okay. So if there are special situations where someone needs to be extracted or taken out of their cell, or something that requires a little additional manpower and or training to handle the situation, they would be called in, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You said some of the occupants of the, on two East Upper, sometimes they're required to be moved by SRT, is that correct?
Yes.
But you said that you had transported Mr. Love and just you by yourself, is that correct?
Yes.
Did he give you any problems?
No.
During the entire over a year amount of time that you spent with Mr. Love, did he ever cause you any problems?
No.
Was he ever disrespectful,
No.
abusive?
No.
And you never personally ever wrote him up, did you?
No.
You didn't ever hear about him being written up?
No.
Okay. And you, outside of that year that you spent with Mr. Love, how long total do you think you spent manning the ag seg or single cell area?
About 3 years.
Okay. And during that time frame, I mean, people can still be, although it's single cell, and if there's ag seg, people can still be a problem on that floor, is that correct?
Absolutely.
They can be threatened, they can be assaulted or attempt to be, all those things, is that true?
Yes.
And none of those things that you and I just spoke about, Officer Brown, describe Mr. Love in your interactions with him, is that right?
No.
Thank you, Officer. I'll pass it to Michelle.
So, why do you have a riot, a SWAT team or a riot, to handle riots? Why do y'all employ those types of people?
That was implemented before I started that team, when they had, I believe, the Massachusetts inmates. When they came to Dallas County, there was a different breed. And so from therefore, the jail commission approved those positions to have a certain team to handle riot response.
Okay. And then you have, but they're still around today.
Yes.
And if you said that if there's an individual who's in one of these single cells and you're not able to go in there and get them yourself, you can call this the SRT.
Yes.
Okay, and so even though we have single cells over there in the Dallas County Jail, you still have an extra ramp up of protection above your level, is that right?
Correct.
And they're specially trained to go and handle those types of individuals.
Correct.
Now, in transporting someone from one place to the other, for example, Mr. Love, you would have to accompany him to go and do that, is that right?
Correct.
Is he having interactions with any other inmates at that time?
No.
Okay. And he would just go basically to the gym. Is that really the only place, or to a nurse or doctor or something?
Correct.
And if he goes to the gym, he's going to be by himself in there. There's no other inmates.
Correct.
And then you'll go and pick him back up and bring him back to his cell.
Normally, the gym officer does that.
Okay. But for whatever reason, he's always had someone with him.
Right.
Have you ever had an individual who, for maybe a month or a couple of months, were just fine, didn't really give you any problems, and all of a sudden they start giving you problems?
Yes.
And the way the system, you have a bunch of rules and regulations over there in the jail, is that right?
Correct.
One of the things you're not allowed to do is tattoo yourself, is that right?
Correct.
Or to have someone tattoo you.
Correct.
And if you were to get yourself tattooed, that would be a major infraction.
Correct.
Right? And there's discipline that could go along with that.
Yes, sir.
Now, have you ever seen people tattooing someone else?
I've seen the end result. I haven't directly caught anyone tattooing.
Okay. And how do you suppose that happened, that they were able to do something without you catching?
Just not being observed
Okay. Do you think stuff happens without you knowing about it?
all the time.
All the time? I mean, y'all are trained, y'all try to do the best you can, is that right?
Yes.
What shift did you work?
Second watch, 6 to 2:30.
So there's 5 of y'all watching all these inmates, is that right?
Yes.
That's all I have. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
That's better than-
Thank you, sir. You may stand down. You're free to leave the courtroom.
Okay.
We call Vicky Love.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth.
Yes, I do.
Thank you, ma'am.
Could you please introduce yourself to the members of the jury?
My name is Vicky Camilla Love, and I am Kristopher Love's stepmom.
Okay. Let's talk about your situation. So if you're his stepmom, you're married to his dad, Ken Love, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, you're currently married to him, and how long have you been married to Ken?
I have been married to him 10 years.
So let's step back, because you actually started dating him back in the 70s, is that correct?
Correct.
Tell the jury, if you could, how did you meet him?
He came home for his uncle's funeral, and I went to school with his sister, and I met him through his sister.
So let's back up. You met his sister where?
His sister and I used to be classmates back in grade school.
And where did you all end up going to college together?
We went, pardon me?
You and his sister went to college together, or?
Grade school
And where was that grade school?
in Clinton, Kentucky.
So you met in Kentucky. When you said that he came back for a funeral, did he come back to Kentucky? Or did he come back to Indiana?
He came to Kentucky for a funeral.
So Chris's dad, Ken, is actually from Kentucky, right?
No.
Well, that's where he grew up, and that's where his sister was and went to grade school, to some degree.
Yes.
Okay. So while there, you met his sister, and he came back to Kentucky from where for the funeral? Where was he living?
Indiana.
And with the funeral, and what did you all do? Where did you all meet next after the funeral in Indiana?
I went to Indiana to help his sister out, and I started staying with her, and that's when we reconnected.
And you were from where at that point?
Clinton, Kentucky.
And where were you living? Clinton, Kentucky.
Clinton, Kentucky.
And you ended up in Indiana. How did that happen?
My classmate, which is Kim's sister, she and
But you ended up there with Kim.
correct.
How did you end up there with Kim?
We got together and we started dating.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
I'm making it long. So you started dating and ended up in Gary, Indiana with Kim.
Correct.
And did you all ever get married at that point?
No.
Do you remember about what year it was that it happened that you moved to Indiana?
73, 74, somewhere around that time period.
And obviously that was a romantic relationship.
Yes.
And from that relationship, how many kids did you have at that point?
2.
And those 2 individuals are whom?
Kim Love Jr. and Keon Love.
Now, Kim, we know, has a nickname. What's his nickname?
Scooby.
And how did you get that nickname?
One of his relatives saw him, and she says, "Look at the little Scooby-Doo," because he had on a pair of high-top gym shoes.
And what age was that?
He was a baby, so I'd say 4 or 5 months.
Now, the age difference between Kim or Scooby and Keon is how much?
13 months,
What is Scooby's date of birth?
12/27/75,
And what is Keon's date of birth?
1/11/77.
Now, how long did you and Kim stay together in a relationship there in Indiana?
Till Keon was maybe 6 to 10 months.
And at that point, did you all kind of split? And when I say go your separate ways, you didn't move out of town, but you split up, is that correct?
Correct.
And how much longer did Kim stay in Indiana, to your knowledge?
I want to say maybe 6 or 7 years to that I can recall, maybe less.
And while he was there, did he meet someone else
Yes,
after you all broke up?
yes,
And who was that?
via love,
Now, did they end up getting married?
yes,
And from that relationship, they had one child in Indiana, correct?
Christopher Love.
And that's basically how you've come to know Christopher Love, is through that relationship and your connections.
Correct.
Now, when they had Chris, how old was Scooby?
It's like a 9-year difference, so maybe 1.
And Keon's about 11 months difference, so he would have been 8.
Yes,
So there's basically almost a 9 to 10 year difference between Chris and Scooby and Keon.
correct.
How much interaction did you all have at that point with Chris while they were there in Indiana?
When he would come to visit, when his parents would come to visit, they would bring Chris over so that he could meet and hang out with his brothers.
And about how long was that before they moved to Memphis, do you know?
They were already living in Memphis.
But I'm saying at first when they met, they were in Indiana together when they met.
Yes,
They got married, they had Chris,
yes,
and about 6 months after Chris was born, did they then move to Memphis?
yes,
Is that about right?
sounds right.
Now, who moved to Memphis with them? Anybody?
I don't know.
What I mean by that is, did Kim Jr. move with them?
Not at that time, no.
Did Keon move with them?
Not at that time, no.
So he's got some brothers, that are half-brothers, that he knows, and he's gotten to know a little bit over the 6-month period he was there, right?
Correct.
And those brothers stayed there in Indiana with you, and he moves to Memphis with Thea.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
How long again, now, what's your relationship with Kim like at this point?
It's great.
And when I say at this point, in this point in our conversation, back at that time when they move off to Memphis, are you still communicating with Kim?
I am, because he was a good father, so anytime I had a problem with the children, we had to communicate.
So the communication between you and Kim never ceased, is that right?
Never.
Now, from the time they moved back to Memphis, how long was it before you saw Chris Love again?
I want to say when he was probably 9, when my son Keon graduated from Great Lakes, Chris came there with his father for the graduation.
So when you say he was 9, when Chris was 9,
Correct.
and so Keon, who's about 9 years old, would have been about 18, is that correct?
Correct.
And he graduated from where?
Great Lakes Naval Base.
And they came up for that graduation, and that's your next contact really with Chris that you recall.
Correct.
Did they ever come up and visit during the summers or any other months to see Keon and Scooby and you, or what was that about?
No.
Did you ever go down to Memphis with Scooby and Keon to see Kim at all?
Sometimes, yes.
Did you see Chris occasionally there?
Occasionally.
But overall, your interaction was not a lot within
No.
9. Now, when you saw him at 9, after that, when was the next time that you saw Chris?
I want to say when I moved to Memphis and got married.
And what year was that?
I moved to Memphis in June of 2008.
And do you know in 2008 do you know when Chris's birthday is?
I want to say March 23rd, I'm not sure.
Do you know the year?
No.
At the time that you moved back to Memphis, how old was Chris? Do you recall that?
In his 20s.
So as far as his formative years, you weren't really involved in his formative years, and Scooby and Keon saw him, but not a lot. Would that be accurate?
Correct.
Now, at some point, Kim Jr. actually moves to Memphis and stays with Chris and Kim. Is that correct?
Correct.
When was that? How old was he?
I can't tell you the year, but Scooby was around the age of 14.
So Chris would have been, if we subtract the 10, because that's about the age difference, Chris would have been about 4.
Okay.
Is that accurate?
Sounds right.
And from his being about 14, do you know when Scooby, or when Kim Sr. or Jr. moved out of the house from Kim and Chris?
No, I don't.
What about Keon? Where did Keon go after his graduation from the Navy school up in Indiana?
He went to Great Lakes in 1995.
And so those two kind of went off because of the age difference and went about their way. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you moved in 2008, and from roughly when Chris leaves Indiana until 2008, what's your contact like with Kim?
We talked all the time because, like I said, we share 2 kids, so we were always constantly having conversations pertaining to the children.
And Kim and Via eventually split up, is that correct?
Yes.
And in 2008, you've been communicating with Kim, and in 2008 when you moved, do you remember what month you moved?
June,
And when did you get married?
August the 9th.
Of that same year?
Yes.
And who did you get married to?
Kim Anthony Love Sr.
How many years after the first part where you had these kids was it in between the time that you got married? Do you recall how many years that was?
33 years.
So you stayed in touch through all that time with Kim and stayed part of that family.
Correct.
Your contact with Chris was somewhat limited. But how was Chris in those times as a son?
I had no problems with Chris. Anything I would ask of him, he was always trying to help someone. He was a good father. He was just Chris.
Can you move the microphone back away from you a little bit?
Okay.
With your interaction with him, the interaction that you had, how was he around the house?
How was he around the house?
Yes.
He used to help clean up, and, do chores and everything like that.
Now, Kim was actually doing a business of some type that he did, is that correct?
Correct.
What did he do?
He was a painter, and I know that Chris helped him on our jobs painting.
And how good of a painter was Chris?
From what I was told, a good painter.
And he seemed to enjoy that work, is that correct?
Correct.
He seemed to help out Kim Sr. quite a bit, is that right?
Yes.
Did all of the, well, I said all the boys, did Kim Jr. And Chris both kind of participate in the painting business with Kim Sr.?
Yes.
And they were, for the times they were able to spend together, let me ask this, do you know, or Scooby or Kim Jr., were he and Chris really close during Chris's younger years, do you know? If you know.
I'm not sure.
Did they seem to get closer as Chris was older in age?
Yes.
And did they seem to spend a lot of time together? Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the family dynamics as far as where you all live. Is Kim's family pretty close?
Very.
Right now in Memphis, how far away does everybody live from you?
Where we live is at least 6 of us in the same apartment complex.
Okay. And this is an apartment complex, it's about, how many stories? 6, 7,
It's 5.
5?
Mm-hmm.
So, and who manages that apartment?
A lady named Eva Shaw.
And who does the maintenance there?
My brother-in-law, Lawrence Love.
And who else paints and does some other odd jobs around and helps run the place?
Kim.
So this is a community that you all are all pretty close. Is that pretty consistent with the way you all have been throughout these relationships in these years?
Yes.
And that's consistent with the neighborhoods that you all have lived in as well. People live houses away from each other as far as relatives are concerned.
Correct.
And the Love family is a pretty close family.
Yes.
you and I have talked about the fact, and you know why you're here today,
Yes, I do.
and you know that Chris has been found guilty of capital murder,
Yes.
and you understand that this jury is going to make a decision as to whether he gets life without possibility of parole or the death sentence, you understand?
Yes.
These charges and everything with the Love family, how has this impacted you and the Love family?
It has been like a nightmare. It has been heavily on our hearts. It affected everyone.
Now, Chris has a daughter that still lives in Memphis.
Yes,
Do you see her frequently?
I do.
Do you know how this has impacted her?
She's a very angry young lady right now. She's not really fully understanding all of this. And she's just upset. She misses her dad and she wants to be with her father.
And do you understand that Chris has attempted to try and explain things to her or calm some of her fears and concerns and try and be a father to her?
Yes, he calls her as often as he can, and he tries to instill in her to be a nice young lady, do your homework, stay out of trouble.
And is the Love family the type of family that if this jury were to see fit to give him a sentence of life without possibility of parole, is the Love family the type of family that's just going to abandon Chris?
No, we're not.
Is the Love family the type of family that's going to encourage him, visit him, make sure that he is successful in the prison system for the rest of his life?
Yes, we will.
Vicky, is there anything else, before I pass you, is there anything else that you'd like to say?
I would like to say I am truly sorry for Kendra's mom's loss. No one should bury their children. I accept and respect the jury's verdict.
I'll pass it, Commissioner.
Hi, Ms. Love, how you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing well. My name's Glenn Fitzmartin. If I ask any questions that you don't understand or anything, just let me know and we can clear it up.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit confused with the younger years, with your boys and with Via.
Yes.
The other Miss Love's boys. Okay, because I was led to believe, I think earlier today, that they had a lot of contact via over your boys as well. That those boys were in her life at the ages of 5 and 6. Would that be? Would you agree with that?
At 5 and 6?
Yes.
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay. And I kind of also thought that when they moved, meaning Via and am I saying that name right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I'd like to call her Miss Love, but then that confuses with you. Okay, so I'm going to stick with Via. When Via and Kim Sr. moved to Memphis, that I thought that your boys moved down there with them.
No, that is not correct.
Okay, I might have misheard that. Okay, did they ever live down in Memphis with Via and Kim?
Yes.
At what ages did they move down?
Scooby, which is Kim Jr., he came down when he was about 14. Keon, I want to say, came down maybe about 16, stayed a year, came back, graduated from school here in Memphis.
And I don't really want to get into Kentucky versus Indiana and all that with you again.
Yeah.
When did you move, when your boys was 16 and 14, when they moved down here, did you move to Memphis as well?
No, I was still in Indiana.
Okay. So the only influence really that Via would have had over your boys on a day-to-day basis would have been with Scooby when he's 14 and Keon when he is 16?
Somewhere around that age, yes.
Okay. And you had no influence at all over Kristopher as he's growing up?
No.
But Kim Sr. had influence on all these kids, is that right?
Correct.
And even though, like you said, you have your boys up where you are, Kim was still involved in their lives.
Correct.
Would he come and visit often?
very. And whenever I needed him, he was there for them.
How far of a distance are we talking about between Memphis and where you stay?
I would like to say an 8.5 to a 9-hour drive.
Your boys, Kim Jr., after he graduated high school, you had mentioned, I couldn't really understand, is Naval, Grand Lakes, Naval?
Keon,
Okay. Where did Scooby graduate high school?
here in Memphis.
Okay. And where did they go after high school? Where did Scooby go after high school? Did he go to college?
No, he stayed there in Memphis. Keon is the one who went to the Navy.
Okay, he went to the Navy.
Mhm.
How long did he stay in the Navy?
If I'm not mistaken, he did 2 tours, which would have been 8 years.
And then he came out of there and then joined the police force there in Memphis, is that right?
Correct.
And at that time, when he comes down, he is 16 years old. I think you said he moved down to Memphis, so he would have been, he's 8 years older than, did I get my math right there? Is he 8 years older than Chris?
I think so.
So he's 16 and Chris would have been 8 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, yes.
Okay. And they all lived in the one house.
Yes.
And how long did that relationship stay for? How long would Keon have been in that house after 16? How many years did he stay?
I want to say 1, because he came back to Indiana, and then he came back down for 1 other year, and then he moved back up home.
And there's something about Kim Sr. that kept you hanging around, right?
Yes,
Okay. Do you find him to be a good man?
he is, and he's a good father.
And like we had talked about, instilling the proper values in his children.
Correct.
Was he a stickler for that? Did he really want to make sure that his kids turned out well?
Yes.
And would you hear him, even as the kids are older, kind of giving them some wisdom on how to deal with things, how to live life?
Yes.
Did you also see that from your boys too, Scooby and Keon?
Yes, I do.
And they were reaching out to Chris to try to get him to, because Chris had trouble with the law, right?
Yes.
And both Scooby and Keon were trying to reach out to him to kind of help him, maybe give him some wisdom on what the right things are to do.
Correct.
And Keon is he involved in like maybe a Bible ministry or something along those lines with other men about being a good husband, things of that nature?
I think so.
And would you classify them, even though they're living all over the place, some with you, some down, as far as Kim's family, a close-knit family?
Yes.
I will pass this.
Just a couple quick questions.
Mhm.
You mentioned something about that drive from Indiana to Memphis, and you said it was about 8.5 to 9 hours.
Yes.
Has Kim ever flown to Indiana?
No.
When was Kim's first flight ever?
Sunday.
And that's Kim Sr.
Kim Sr.
That's all I have.
No.
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down and you're free to leave the courtroom.
Thank you.
This time we call Kim Love Jr. Excuse me.
Good afternoon, sir. Please raise your right hand. You do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth. Thank you, sir. Please have a seat.
please introduce yourself to members of the jury?
My name is Kim Anthony Love Jr.
And everybody's heard you go by Scooby, is that right?
Yes, everybody calls me Scooby.
So you've been dealing with each other for so long that I'm probably going to call you Scooby, so if there's a problem with that, let me know.
It's not a problem with it.
All right, Scooby, if you could tell us, how old are you?
42,
And where do you currently live?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Are you married?
Yes, been married for 19 years.
How many kids do you have?
6, 3 biological and 3 with my wife.
And where do they all live?
We all live in Memphis, Tennessee.
Do you work?
Yes, I've been on my job for 14 years. I work in a scrap facility, recycling,
What's the name of the facility?
Omnisource Incorporated.
Do you know Chris Love?
Yes,
And how do you know him?
he's my brother.
Now, the reality is he's your half-brother, right?
He's my whole brother.
Okay. And I understand that.
Yeah.
You don't have the same mother, is that correct?
Correct.
And I understand that the way the Love family is, you are all family.
Yes.
Is that right? Now, where were you living when Chris was born?
In Gary, Indiana.
And shortly after he was born, he moved to Memphis, is that correct?
Correct.
How long was it before you got back into his life in regards to staying with him and being with him?
It was probably maybe two years, a year and a half maybe, because we started to visit for the summertime.
So you started visiting for the summertime.
Yeah.
Would he come up to see you? Would you come down to
No,
Memphis?
we would go to Memphis and visit for the summer.
And how long was it before you actually moved down to Memphis?
Before I actually moved, I was around 12 or 13,
And if you're 12 or 13, there's approximately 10 years difference between you and Chris.
11.
So he would have been about 3 years old.
Yes.
Now, from the time that you moved down to Memphis, how much time did you spend in the house with Kim and Chris before you moved down?
It was maybe 3 to 4 years.
So basically, as far as contact with Chris at that time, you had about 3 to 4 years, and he would have been
Uh,
3 or 4.
Yes.
How much interaction did you have with Chris at that time?
Well, it was like an everyday thing, just with a little brother, taking care of him, watching him and stuff like that, with that nature. But, I mean, as far as doing anything, big brother, little brother, it was just a limit to him being a little child and me being much older than him.
Now, where did you live? Did you live in a house, an apartment?
We lived in an apartment at that time.
And who all lived in that apartment?
It was my dad, Via, Chris, myself, my brother Keon, and my sister Misha. And Casey was just born by that time.
How many bedroom apartment was this?
At that time, it was a 2-bedroom when we first came down.
And now, when did
When I started living with them, we moved to a 3-bedroom.
when you moved down, they were in a 2-bedroom, and you
Yes.
started living with them because of the number of people, you increased it to a 3-bedroom.
3-bedroom, correct.
Do you recall exactly when Keon actually came down and how long he was down for?
Well, he came and stayed a year and then went back to Indiana.
Do you recall what age he was at that point?
He went here in the 6th grade and left and then came back in the 8th grade. So he was gone about 2 years.
So there's a lot of transition, people going in the house and out of the house. Is that accurate?
Correct.
There wasn't always a consistent number staying with Kim and Via. Is that right?
No, not of me and my other brother.
And additionally, on top of that movement, Kim and Via were sometimes coming in and going out, right? I mean, they'd get into arguments and someone would leave for a period of time.
Well, majority of the time back then they was together.
But I understand the majority of the time, but they did have that situation where they were in and out.
Yes, at one point in time, yes. Yes.
Now, you're 13, Chris is about 3 or 4. I think you said that you took care of him every now and then. As far as hanging out with him, did you hang out with him a lot when he was 3 or 4?
Well, not really, just in the house and like I said, just playing with him in the house or in the yard or something like that, because there's not too much I could do as far as that go.
And how long did you all stay in the apartment?
Well, we were down for that summer. By the time I came back the following summer, we was in the house. So,
And all of these times when you're living in these apartments and in these houses, do you have relatives living at home?
Yes.
Other apartments or houses?
yes, within 2 to 3 mile radius, several blocks over sometimes.
And these are cousins?
Cousins, even next door, and 1 block over, so,
And then the same thing when you lived in a house?
yes.
It wasn't uncommon for 1 or 2 houses away?
To have, yeah,
relative?
another relative, exactly.
For the most part, your family tried to stay or lived in approximately the same area as other individuals?
Yes,
Did you all pretty much hang out with family members?
yes.
Did you have a lot of external friends that you all did things with?
You know, as me, like I said, me being old, I had a group of friends that I had, but we also had friends that became friends of the family, who we treated just like family.
And then as you got older, 15, 16, 17, I'm sure that you took your 5, 6-year-old brother out with you wherever you went.
Well, I took them, you know, down the street to the park, you know, stuff like that. You know, we played football in the neighborhood. Him and his friends would sit out there and watch us, you know, because they wasn't big enough to play, but
And I think that's my point. My
Yeah.
point is there was such a big age gap that you were hanging out there with your friends at that time.
Yes.
You were active in his life, but you weren't really hanging out with them or doing things with them. Is that right?
I mean, no, not unless we were at home or we went to like a vacation or a family function of some sort.
How was he as a little brother?
No, he's a fun little brother, you know, just being a little kid, you know, just, I guess like any other little kid, just running around and playing.
And when he was in 5th or 6th grade, you would have been in your 20s. Is that
Yes.
right? Where would you have been? What were you doing when you were in your 20s?
Well, I was actually having children and growing up on my own.
Did you spend a lot of time with Chris during those years when he was in 5th, 6th, 7th grade?
Well, yeah, I mean, because I would still come by the house. We actually lived a block over from my dad when he lived with him. And we would play basketball in the neighborhood, so I would see him every day.
The time that you told me that you all really started doing more things together, how old was he when that started happening?
He was around, he had to be around 15 or so.
And what did you all start doing together to kind of brought you together?
We played, like I said, we played football and basketball in the neighborhood, so Chris was a taller guy, so he was able to get in there and play with us. On Thanksgiving, we do a turkey bowl every year and also a basketball game.
And that's a family.
A family,
type gathering,
yes.
right? You get all your cousins.
Cousins, friends, everybody get together. And we barbecue and just have a fun day.
Did you and Chris work with your dad on anything?
Yes, my dad used to have a painting company that I took over later on, and me and Chris also worked with him on that.
How was Chris as a painter?
It was pretty good. He's fast.
And there was a point where you actually started the job that you're in now, I believe, right?
Yes,
You
and
maintained your painting business too.
yes, for several years, and I kind of passed it over to Chris and one of my other cousins, then let them kind of get started to get their feel of, you know, owning the business of their own, and he kind of took the reins of that to kind of carry that on for a while.
So you were able to go and have your other job.
My other job, correct?
And then also do the painting with Chris and your other cousin and your dad, is that correct?
Yes.
How was he as, somewhat of a business partner?
Well, I mean, he showed up for work. Like I say, he used to come get the truck from me and load up the supplies and head out to the job, get it taken care of, let me know that the job was done for whatever the task was for that day.
Do you know if Chris ever finished school?
I do know he got his GED
But was that in school? Or
No,
was that
no.
when he was in jail?
when he was in jail
That was in Tennessee.
in Tennessee, yes.
As far as you know, as far as schooling, he basically dropped out or something.
Yes,
And that's kind of when he did some of his painting and things with you.
correct.
There was something interesting that you told me about your dad, what he did to you all to try and teach you. Do you remember about taking you out of the city?
Yeah, what he used to kind of, we weren't from Memphis, so what he used to do is take us all in the car and drive us around and say, I want y'all to find your way home so you'll know how to get places. And he also took us to work to let us know how to get out and provide for them.
And he would just leave?
No, he would just tell us, to let him know what direction we want to go in to find our way. And he would turn that way or go a certain way just so we can get familiar.
You saw, when you were with Chris, you know who Kamar is? I'm
Excuse me?
pronouncing the name wrong. His daughter.
Kiara.
Kiara.
Yes.
You've spent some time with her?
Yes.
And you've seen Chris interact with her?
Yes.
How is Chris as a father?
He's a great father. I mean, when she was born, he had her with her all the time. You know, at that time, him and Corey was together, so they spent quite a amount of time together. And that's the way I actually met her when I found out she was pregnant.
Does he talk to her about staying out of trouble and not
Yes.
being involved in drugs? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, like as right now, he has phone conversations with her. I also talk to her and, ask, have you talked to your dad? And I try to check on her. We try to check on each other to make sure, it's still instilled in her.
Since Chris has been in jail here in Dallas, have you been able to visit him?
Yes, on several occasions.
How far is it from here to Memphis?
About a 7-hour drive.
Now, unlike your dad, you've flown before,
Yes.
but when you make that drive to come visit him, you drive.
Yes, correct.
You don't fly.
No.
And about how many times do you think you've been able to come see him with that?
Within the last 3 years I've been here, I want to say maybe eight times.
You've been there to support him
Yes, correct.
and make sure that he
If he,
knows that his family loves him, right?
yes.
Okay. How many phone calls do you think you
I've had several phone calls when he's like on my phone with my dad. I've talked to him myself personally, but it's most of the time I just like to come down here and see him, make sure it's okay.
had? You know that this jury's found him guilty of capital murder.
Yes,
And you understand that they have two choices.
yes,
If they decide and determine that life sentence is the appropriate sentence, are you going to continue to support him and visit him?
yes,
Make sure that he knows that he's loved out there.
yes,
And give him something to look forward to.
Look forward to.
Those visits and talking about his daughter and his son.
yes.
I said sons, his daughter.
Daughters and son, yes.
Well, that's all I have. Pass the news.
Hello, how you doing?
All right.
Good. So it looks like you had some connection with him when he was a little fella, and then when he becomes a teenager, you're kind of back in his life. Is that what we kind of boils down to?
Well, I've always been in his life.
Always been his life, but as far as like being right there, it seems
Yes.
like you kind of interject yourself back in his life when he gets to his 15, 16, I think is what you told him.
Yes, because of our age difference.
Right,
So,
yeah. And it turns out, as far as we can tell, at 17 is when he starts committing criminal offenses. Is that right?
I'm not sure about if that age is
Okay.
the time.
All right, let's say we have a document that says that at 17 is when he steals a car and is on a high-speed chase and has a gun. You remember that?
I remember something similar to it.
And it turns out, as far as we can tell, at 17 is when he starts committing criminal offenses. Is that right?
I'm not sure about if that age is
Okay.
the time.
All right, let's say we have a document that says that at 17 is when he steals a car and is on a high-speed chase and has a gun. You remember that?
I remember something similar to it.
Did you talk to him at that time about, hey, you can't be doing with this type of stuff?
Yes.
And you don't have any felony offenses, do you?
No.
And and those conversations that you had with him, was he receptive? Was he talking to you? Was he listening to you?
Yes.
And then it turns out a couple of years later he commits a burglary. Did you know about that?
Yes.
And he gets placed on probation.
Yes, I know.
And did you talk to him at that point in time about, hey, this isn't the way we should be living our lives?
Yes.
And we've got a painting business. So we've got ways of making money other than stealing, right?
Correct.
And that's something that you, as a brother, as kind of a figure, at that point in time, you've got a family, you're starting a family of your own, right?
Yes.
And you're providing for your family.
Yes.
I think, and I might have even, I came out there to Memphis, I think I knocked on your door and I might have met your wife, is that right?
I'm not sure. I wasn't home.
Okay, you weren't home, but you know that someone gave her a card and said, hey,
Yes.
have your husband give me a call. Is that right?
Yes.
And you never gave me a call?
No.
Okay. But you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and providing for your family, your 3 biological kids and 3 kids of your wife, right?
Correct.
And there was opportunities for your brother to come along with you and do some of these things, either with his father as far as a painter, or you would help him out in any way he needed. Is that right?
Yes.
If he needed $200 would you give him $200?
If he needed it, yes.
Okay, if he needed $400, would you give him $400?
If he needed it, yes.
Or at least you try to maybe counsel him in the ways of earning that money legitimately without having to rob, cheat, or steal.
Yes.
And then, after the burglary and you had that conversation, he was placed on probation for that. Is that right?
To my understanding,
And then he violated that probation by picking up 2 other felony offenses.
I have no idea about those.
So you don't know that he has a conviction for facilitation of aggravated robbery and 2 aggravated assaults out of one incident, and another aggravated robbery out of another incident. You don't know about those?
I don't know what you're speaking of.
So you never had an opportunity to counsel him after those situations about how you shouldn't be doing those types of activities?
I don't know what offenses you're speaking of.
You do know that he got locked up in prison?
Yes, I went and seen him.
I'm sorry?
I saw him in prison.
You went and go visit him in prison?
Yes.
And did you counsel him then, after he got out of prison, about, look, okay, you done your time, let's turn this thing around?
It may be in the conversation.
You might have had a conversation about that?
Yes.
You think you would have wanted to do that as an
Yeah.
older brother looking out for him, right?
Yes.
And then he got picked up with a gun at a Dyersburg. Did you know about that?
I think I might have heard something about it.
You might
I
have heard
didn't.
something
I didn't
about
know the
that?
whole situation of the story, but
Okay. And there was a warrant, and then he never showed up for court for that. Did you know that?
to my understanding, he did show up to court.
And you know that he has a warrant pending right now out of Memphis, Tennessee for that gun case.
No, I didn't know that.
If you had known that, would you have told him, hey, you know what, don't move to Dallas, go take care of your business here in Tennessee?
Probably so.
But he moves to Dallas anyhow, right?
Yes.
And the daughter that he has there in Memphis, he left her in Memphis and moved to Dallas with his other baby's mom, right? Marika?
Can you repeat that question again?
So he has a child, Kiara,
Yes.
right?
Mm.
And Kiara's mom is who?
Shukori.
And but he leaves Memphis and moves to Dallas with Marika.
Yes.
And has 2 other children here in Dallas, is that right?
Correct.
And in Dallas, did you know that he was selling drugs? when he was
No.
living here? No?
No.
How did you talk to him while he was in Dallas?
Yes.
What were you asking him? Hey, where are you working these days?
Yeah.
And where was he working?
To my understanding, he was painting for, it was for some guy.
Painting for some guy?
So, yeah,
Okay. And that's how he was making ends meet?
as far as I know.
Did you know he was selling drugs?
No.
Did you know that he was trying to put together a prostitution organization?
No.
Would you have tried to counsel him out of that?
Without, say it again.
Try to talk him out of doing that type of stuff?
Yes, if he was trying to do that, I would have.
And on October 1st of 2015, if he came to you and said, I need some money, $3,000, $4,000, I really need this kind of money. Do you think you would have tried to try to figure that out and get that to him?
I would have told him I don't have that kind of money.
Okay? But if he says, I'm going to go kill someone unless I get that, would you say, I'm going to get that money for you?
I would have told him he shouldn't be thinking like that.
Okay? Would you have tried to work your best to get that money together for him?
Objection, or ask and answer at this point.
I have nothing further for this witness.
Yes, John, a couple of questions. You and Vito are pretty close?
Yes.
How close would you describe that relationship?
Right now, we ride to work every day.
And as far as the family is concerned, is the family close and very supportive of
Yes.
each other?
Mhm.
Are they close and supportive of Chris?
Yes, very.
How has this affected the family?
Well, it affected us quite greatly because, I mean, it's a part of the family that's not at certain events when we're having them. And also, our current situation now.
And you love him?
Yes, I love him very much.
How's it affected you?
Well, he's my younger brother, so, I mean, it hurts me pretty bad to be sitting here.
I'll pass it on.
I'm done, brother.
Thank you, sir. You may stand